Hello, everyone's Forest Focus. As Nottingham Forest pick up a dominant 3-0 win against Malmo in the Europa League. There was a welcome first goal for Arnauld, Kalimuendo, an unwelcome injury scare for Murillo, though, as Forest made it 3 wins in a row under Sean Dyche, So we'll discuss all that and more in the company of, first of all, former Reds midfielder Sam Collins. Sam, good evening, mate. How are you?
Evening, Matt. Yeah, all good, thank you. Straightforward night. So, quite an easy talk tonight. So, yeah, very good, thanks.
Good to have you with us. Looking forward to quite an easy talk. Fothers, how are you this evening?
Yeah, very well, thanks, Matt. Still coming down from Anfield, actually, at the weekend. As Sam said there, tonight was just straightforward, wasn't it?
I know. I mean, I don't smoke, but I feel I could do this whole show with a cigar. I'm not used to this. It was too chilled out and too easy, and we'll get into some of the reasons why and who played well and all that kind of stuff. But Fothers, kick us off. Just your general thoughts on what we witnessed tonight.
Really surprised how poor Malmo were, first and foremost. But I think I came out of the Leeds game the other week as well, wondering whether that was about how poor Leeds were and how good Forest were. And I think you can only beat the teams in front of you, can't you? And tonight, until the first goal, it was a bit flat. But after that, just bossed it straightforward. Some good performances. Nice to see all 3 goal scorers get their first goal of the season as well, particularly Kalimuendo for me. But yeah, Milenkovic as well. He got 5 last year, hasn't scored until tonight. So yeah, just comfortable, wasn't it? 7 changes and comfortable in the Europa League. What more could you want?
I was going to say, I mean, it's, Forest are winning games comfortably in Europe, probably not getting out of second or third gear, Sam. So we're definitely going to take that. But where do you put the balance between Forest good, Malmo really not very good, Sam?
Somewhere in the middle, I'd say, similar to what Father said. I was surprised. I thought they'd be a bit better than they were. It was strange because it took until the last 10, 15 minutes for them to start popping the ball about. And I thought they're a decent side now. But no, I thought Forest were really good tonight. As you said, it was a flat first 20 minutes or so. But then after that, I think Forest got hold of the game and Malmo couldn't really get out of the half. I mean, I'm just looking at the stats now. It was 22 shots to 1, which tells you everything you need to know about the game. But yeah, really pleased with how Forest played tonight, especially how they controlled the game and kind of didn't get bored of doing the right things, but also surprised with how poor Malmo were.
We'll talk about some individuals then in greater detail than others and touch on the match action itself around that. I mean, I suppose, Fathers, you've already mentioned Kalimuendo there. He feels like the big positive to me. Even before his goal, I thought he was playing well. I was watching him for a bit because it was such an easy game. I was watching his movement and he plays on the shoulder and he wants to run in behind. He wants to drop into little bits of space. So he's a very different striker to the others potentially that we have. So I always thought he was playing well anyway. But to get that goal was a big moment for him, I think. What did you make of him in more detail?
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I think prior to the goal, he was looking quite sharp. I think we've been a bit harsh on him because we haven't really seen him, have we? It's very difficult as a striker when you're not getting minutes to have an impact, and I think he was tonight. He nearly scored just before his goal, didn't he? And it's a fantastic header from Yates and a great save from the goalkeeper, but he's first to react. And yeah, I don't think he's done himself any harm tonight. And you know as well as I do that for a striker, for any footballer to get a goal, that's the most important thing, and he's got that now. And hopefully it can move on from there. And hopefully he'll get more chances, because that, for me, that's the thing he's not had. He's not had a chance to sort of prove himself, and tonight he did himself no harm whatsoever.
He did. I mean, he did struggle against Graz, to be fair, I think, Sam. But he looked more, I don't know, engaged isn't the right word because he's obviously trying really hard. But he had more zip about him and more confidence. And I guess is confidence the big word now for what we saw and what we hope to see from him?
I think so, yeah. I think you're right. It looked a bit more, I'd say sharp is the right word to use. I think maybe the 2 weeks during the international break might have helped him getting a bit more fitness under his belt in training. I'm sure Sean Dyche would have worked the boys hard. But yeah, I think it's definitely great for his confidence. Now, he's got that goal in him and he can kick on from there. I also think there's a player in there. I know he had a bit of a slow start, but like Father said, we've not seen a lot of him, so it's hard to really judge him. But yeah, I was pleased with him tonight. And I think, as I said, the few weeks training since the last game, where to me he didn't look fit enough or sharp enough, will have done him the world of good. So yeah, I think only positive things to come from him, hopefully, from now on.
Do you think his style, Sam, suits games where we have 65% possession rather than 25% possession, or does it not have to work that way?
I don't in general. I know tonight he played well, but I think in general he'd be more of a kind of target man / running behind kind of, when your back's against the wall. Maybe like at a Liverpool away or City away, whoever it is. I think he's that kind of striker that you want on the shoulder to stretch teams and cause teams havoc with his strength and his power and his running ability. But tonight he showed that even when Forest dominating the ball, he can hold the ball up well, still make encouraging runs here and there and pop up with a goal. So I think he's got both things there. But I'd probably say, to answer your question, he's more so against a team that's dominating the ball. That's where he'd really thrive, I think.
So one of the things I've written in my notes here, Fothers, is viable option off the bench v Brighton, because I don't think he's not going to start really, but Brighton tend to play that high line. They are a possession team, so Kalimuendo, it could be another opportunity for him on Sunday, we hope. Yeah,
it could be perfect for him, couldn't it? I mean, he's definitely in the squad, isn't he? You've got to have him on the bench. It'll be interesting when Chris Wood gets fit again. What Sean Dyche makes of all of them really, and who his best striker is. I like Jesus. I think he offers a lot more. He starts, doesn't he, against Brighton? You would think, but yeah, Kalimuendo, a great opportunity off the bench, and imagine bringing players like him, Hutchinson on Sunday when we're already 2 to the good against Brighton. He says, fingers crossed. We're starting to look like the side that I think we all expected us to be at the start of the season at Nuno. When you think back to that Brentford game at the start of the season where we were strong starting 11, we were strong off the bench, and we put them to bed very comfortably. It feels now, and it's a shame that we've lost the 2.5 months that we have, but it feels like we're there now, doesn't it? When you look at the players that we can bring on, and he's going to be bouncing now, isn't he? After scoring tonight in front of 30,000 and the atmosphere there at the City Ground, he's going to be chomping at the bit to get on against Brighton, because I think you're right, he doesn't start, but what a great card to have for Sean Dyche second half.
Yeah, you can see that kind of palpable relief from him, and the players are happy for him as well, which is a good sign that because I know there was the bench cam thing where he looks a bit miserable, but I think you could see he was a fully integrated part of the squad tonight, which is great. I'll put this comment up from Pat, Sam, and throw it at you as a devil's advocate kind of one. I think we can caveat a lot of this conversation by Malmo were crap, but do you agree with what Pat's saying there, that Premier League centre-backs won't give him any change, or do you think Kalimuendo's got the quality to show something?
I think it's early days to say that. We're not too sure until we see it. He's had some poor moments. Tonight was a good moment for him. I think his attributes could prove well in the Premier League. I think he is strong, physical, and that's what a lot of centre-halves are. So I tend to disagree with that statement. I think it's too early to say. I certainly agree with Fothers in the sense that I don't think he'll still be a starting striker for Forest, and I don't think he'll climb above Jesus or Wood when he's back. But I still think he's a viable option to have off the bench. And yeah, I think in the short term, hopefully his confidence will be up now, and I think he can cause Premier League defenders some havoc.
I hope so. I hope he gets on the pitch against Brighton now. He doesn't just sit on the bench for 90 minutes and miss out. I think that would dent his confidence, but hopefully he gets some kind of opportunity, regardless of match circumstances. In a sense, it's easy for me to say that now, but we shall see. The other player that we tend to focus on in these Europa League games, especially with Morgan Gibbs-White not playing for us, was McAtee. I think Brian Law said on the podcast yesterday or this morning when it came out, it was a golden opportunity for him. Did he take it? Did he blow it? Did he almost take it? What did you make of him?
I think he continues to flatter to deceive a little bit. I was very excited. I was more excited about him than Hutchinson when we signed them in the summer. I've now gone completely full circle on that, and I just want to watch Amari Hutchinson play every week, because the way he's coming on and running at defenders, he did it against Leeds, he did it at Liverpool. I think McAtee did have a chance tonight. I think he grew into it a little bit, and I felt the same against Sturm Graz. I think he grew into that game as well as the game went on, and I think he's another one. And I think him and Kalimuendo are the same. I think they're going to need time, and I think they're going to need confidence. They're going to need to get goals and play more minutes. And I don't know whether we have the time to play them both in, because on Saturday Anderson, Gibbs-White, Sangare are all in there, and McAtee's not. So I don't know where he's going to find the time to be able to play in that I think he needs, and that worries me about him, and it worries me a little bit about Kalimuendo as well, because I think they're going to be bit part players, but I think both of them will get better the more minutes they play. Same with anybody, isn't it? You need to play. You need to play minutes to be able to get better. But then you've got other players like Anderson and Gibbs-White who just turn it on straight away. So flattered to deceive, grew into the game. I think, well, there's obviously a player there, isn't there? There's obviously a player. We just need to see more of him, as we do with Kalimuendo, I think.
Yeah, I think he almost played well, but I don't think he did enough, really. Against that opposition, I was looking for a bit more from him. What did you make of him, Sam?
Completely agree with everything Fothers said, to be fair. I think he grew into the game. I thought he started quite slow. I just think with McAtee, it's a shame because I agree. I think he needs a run of games. He's that kind of player that maybe is lacking a bit of confidence and a bit of rhythm at the moment. But the issue is, and this is why I kind of struggled, even though I was excited by the signing, I struggled to really understand it because he's left Man City to play regular first team football. And I can't see him playing that at Forest with Gibbs, White and Anderson in midfield. Whether he'll play on the wing or not, I don't know, but I don't think that's his best position. But yeah, I thought tonight he grew into the game, but you still want to see more from him. You still want to see kind of more. He's in the team to be a bit of a maverick player, isn't he? To create things and to score goals and dribble, etc. And you're not really seeing that at the moment. And the only way you can improve, like Fothers said, is to get regular game time. And I don't see that at the moment for him. I think Hutchinson's above him in the pecking order. And Odoi, even Dominguez in the number 10 role or out on the wing at the moment, I think is higher than him. So I think it will require some time for McAtee. I wouldn't suddenly start writing him off or anything like that, but it is a bit of a shame that we've not really seen the best of him yet.
Sorry, Matt, just on the back of that, he did put that great ball in for Yates' header, which led to Kalimuendo's goal. So,
yeah, it was a great ball.
Yeah, which actually, if Yates scores that header, he gets an assist.
Yeah.
So while he's not stamping too much authority on the game, he's still got that ability to put a fantastic ball in.
Yeah, I think he's just on the periphery of the game in terms of doing something really good. Like he has lots of moments. I think he has so much quality. I can see he's got a lot of quality, and you're just thinking, can you do a little bit more to really put your hand up, just like Kalimuendo did? But I do think there's a player there. So I'll ask you both the same question, starting with Sam. If Morgan is out on Sunday v Brighton, would you start McAtee, or would you engineer something where Hutchinson starts and you play a different midfield three?
Oh, I wouldn't. I think Sean Dyche should do similar. I think it'll either be one or two things. If Gibbs White is out, I think you'd see Hutchinson come out wide and Dominguez go as a number 10, or you'd maybe even see him beef up the midfield and put Yates in there with Anderson a bit higher up. I think more likely Hutchinson. Let's hope Gibbs White's fit, obviously, because he's been in really good form recently. Looks more like the player that we all know and love. But I think if he is out, I think you're more likely to see Hutchinson, who I feel for, by the way, because tonight's game would have been great for him to get some minutes and to keep building his brilliant form recently. But yeah, I don't think we'll see McAtee start on the weekend now.
What do you think? What would you want him to do, Fothers, if Morgan's out?
Yeah, I agree. I think we've got too many options in midfield that McAtee is too far down that pecking order. I do think he's the most similar player we've got to Gibbs White, but I think. I don't think he's there yet. He's not proved it. Like you said, Matt, he had a chance tonight to really put a stamp on that and say, right, Gibbs White's injured. I'm starting on Sunday, and I don't think he's done that. So what would I do? I love Callum Hudson-Odoi, so I'd have him and Dan Undoy on the other side. I'd play both of them, keep switching them as the game goes on. About
Hutchinson as a 10. He's played a lot of football as a 10. What about Sam? What about Hutchinson as the number 10 instead? He played half his games for Ipswich there.
Yeah, I could see it. Maybe not in a game like this where you might be required to defend a lot and your number 10 needs to do a job on the 6. I probably don't agree with what I've just said, actually. I think Hudson-Odoi will come back into the team. I think you're likely to see Dominguez in midfield and Hudson-Odoi and N'Doye out on the wings. So I probably wouldn't say that Hutchinson will start. I think Hudson-Odoi will come back in if Gibbs White's out. But Hutchinson in number 10 is definitely a possible scenario, but I don't think we'll see it on Sunday.
Well, we do have prime Frank Lampard in our midfield, judging by tonight. So we'll talk about Ryan Yates in a midfield in a moment. Sorry, but just for that word for the Trent Navigation coming up, there's a Fun Boy 2 post-match show after the Brighton game, which is free entry. So do check that out, and Fothers will have all the build-up. I'm sure there's also, as you'll see on screen, the Take That Christmas Party, Take That Tribute Act, Friday the 12th of December, doors at 7 p.m. Fun Boy 2, we're on the bill for that as well. So check out gigantic.com for that. Right, Fothers, I mentioned Ryan Yates there. I mean, I joke about Frank Lampard, but he could have had a couple of goals tonight. I've felt like he was the catalyst to get us going when it was pretty dead until he scored, even though we were dominating. He played a big part tonight, Yatesy, didn't he?
I thought he was great tonight. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Ryan. He came to Notts County, when I was working at Notts, and he came as a young lad. I don't know. I mean, he's only about 20. How old is he now? Yatesy, 26.
26.
So he came to Notts County. Yeah, he came to Notts County when he was about 18, and he was scoring goals. So he knows how to score goals. And he was arriving late in the box. George Grant was getting all the plaudits because he was curling the free kicks in from 25 yards. But Yatesy was scoring all the goals, sticking his head in like he did tonight. Great finish. First one, second one, that header. It's a great save. Otherwise, he's got another one. I thought he was really, really good. And I think he had a bad game, didn't he, a few weeks ago, and everybody had a bit of a downer on him again. But I did the team news in the NAB before the game tonight, and the biggest cheer when I read the team out was for Ryan Yates. So I think he's won everybody over again. And yeah, he was, and he's a leader, isn't he? He's a captain. He's been around. He gets the club. He understands it. Yeah, top performance from him tonight.
Yeah, match-going crowd loves him, don't they? I think certainly. 28. He was 28. This was 6 days ago. So belated happy birthday to Yatesy there. From a club point of view as well, Sam, someone who's come through the academy, which you know about yourself, for that to happen in Europe is a great moment for him, but a lovely moment for the club as well.
Was that for Zach? Sorry, did you say?
Well, we'll come on to Zach, but for Yatesy, having come through the academy,
yeah, he was top tonight. And a really fitting night for him to score that goal and play so well. And yeah, I was really impressed with Yatesy tonight. I thought he was playing forward more than he usually does. I love Yatesy, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for Yatesy. As you know, he's a great guy, and I think he's a really underrated player. But I thought it was every opportunity looking to play forwards and break the lines, did it really well. Brilliant finish as well from him, which you want to see more and more because he's got that in his locker. And yeah, I think he led the team out really well tonight. I thought him and Sangare just dominated everything, really dictated play. It was really good to see. Really good partnership they looked tonight.
Yeah, Sangare was really good. We'll come on to that in the match, but he was a definite contender for me. It was interesting, Fothers, the way he used Yates tonight. He didn't play as a deeper midfielder. He didn't quite play the Morgan role either, but he was pushed on really, really high, wasn't he, a lot of the time?
He was, and I think a lot of that was to do with how poor Malmo were and how they were sort of sitting back, and we could go on to that. In the Premier League, it's different, isn't it? You've got Sangare playing that role just in front of the back four, and you often need somebody else, a Dominguez or a Yates, to drop back. We didn't need to do that tonight, did we? I think Darren Fletcher said on about 78 minutes they'd not had a single touch in our box tonight. I mean, that's how bad they were. Which I think gave Yates the chance to go forward and express himself a little bit more than he would. He looked comfortable on the ball tonight as well, didn't he? When you listen to a lot of Forest fans who say that he's not as technically gifted as Dominguez, and we all know he's not. But tonight, I thought he looked really comfortable, really confident, and yeah, he got the chance tonight to do something that maybe he won't get in the Premier League, where you could trust the back five plus Sangare, and he had the chance to go forward, and it resulted in one goal, nearly two goals. Top performance.
Yeah, goal and assist for him. Goal and assist for Milenkovic as well. We haven't mentioned that. That was a tidy assist for a centre-half, wasn't it, for the first goal, Sam? Yeah,
brilliant. I can't believe what I was seeing. I think he might have got a nosebleed up there, but really good play down the wing. And then, yeah, great cut back for Yatesy. And I've got to say, him and Murato as well, I was impressed by them. I know it was very comfortable, but I thought, again, they looked really solid. And I think we're slowly starting to see under Sean Dyche the Milenkovic that we love from last season. I thought he had a bit of a slow and poor start this year. Didn't quite look the same player. But I think the last couple of weeks he's coming into his own and he looks really solid again. So, yeah, positive signs from him.
What do you think, going off on a tangent? After a game like that, when you've been so dominant, What do you think Dyche is saying to them, Sam? Is he really laying it on thick to build confidence, or is he saying don't get carried away?
I think he'll be pleased. I think he'll be saying, well done, lads. You were brilliant tonight, really comfortable, and you did things properly and you stayed professional. But I think he'll definitely be saying, don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't get complacent. Massive game on Sunday against Brighton. That game's just as important as this one. Next game's always the most important one. So I think he'll be somewhere in the middle, Matt. I think he won't be saying, giving them too much praise, but he'll also be happy with how tonight went.
Should we? This is getting really picky for this. Should we even be scoring more goals? I know Hudson-Odoi hit the bar with a really good effort. Keeper played really well for them, to be fair. On another night, should we be scoring 5 or 6 to get really greedy?
Yeah, possibly, but you can only beat what's in front of you. We created some chances. We've won 3-0. I think you're getting picky, Matt. I think that's absolutely fine. We're climbing the Europa League table. We're putting ourselves in a position where we can qualify for the next stage. Like you say, Hudson-Odoi at the bar. I'm just trying to think of other chances tonight. There were Kalimuendo nearly scored just before he did score, didn't he? So, I don't think there's anything really to complain about tonight. It was 3-0. It could have been 4. It could have been 5. You've got to take that against any opposition.
Yeah, I think so. I think my pre-match prediction was 4. So I was
You've hit mute, Matt.
No, my mic is shit. Sorry, I need to keep thinking I should get it replaced, and then it always works for a week, and I think it's fine, and then it stops again. So yeah, sorry about that. This shows why I'm not a football manager, Sam. But I actually felt a bit sorry after 63 minutes for Malmo or whenever it was when you see Odoi, Anderson, and Jesus come on. I know Jimmy Sinclair came on, and we'll come on to him, but that was a pretty merciless set of changes, wasn't it?
Yeah. Again, probably tactical, probably planned before, you'd imagine, trying to give lads, minutes. Kalimuendo still trying to build his full fitness up, so maybe he was always going to play that amount of time. Anderson, he didn't play the last Europa League game, if I remember correctly, so maybe Sean Dyche thought this was a good opportunity to get him some minutes. A little bit worried about Murillo coming off. I know he jogged off the pitch, but when he came off, I think you could see some of the staff say, is it cramp? And I think he shook his head, so hopefully it's nothing serious. That's maybe the only slight negative from tonight. But you're hoping he's fine and he's all clear for Brighton. But yeah, other than that, really positive, like we've alluded to. And I think Malmo, whatever it was, 63 minutes, would have been thinking, give it a rest, Forest. Just call it off already. So yeah.
Matt, don't feel sorry for them. I was at the Etihad 3 years ago when we were 5-0 down against Man City, and they brought De Bruyne on. I remember that. So let's not feel sorry for the opposition. It's nice for the boot to be on the other foot.
That City game's always the go-to one for the brutality of the Premier League when Haaland's scoring a hat-trick in like the first 10 minutes or something. I won't forget that one. That was a real welcome to the Premier League, certainly. Yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah. Just quickly on Kalimuendo as well. Did you think Fothers? Would you want him to stay on for another 10 or 15 to get another goal, or do you just stick to the plan?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think you stick to the plan. I think he's got his goal. Let's let him have a big round of applause as he comes off, which I think he got. No, stick to the plan. It obviously worked out by half time what he wanted to do second half. I think he got those 3 big guns to bring on 63, 64 minutes, whatever it was. No, it's absolutely the right thing to do. Jesus hasn't scored for a while, I think I'm right in saying. So
he scored on Saturday, but yeah.
He did score on Saturday, but you're not allowed to score. You're not allowed to score 4 at Anfield, are you?
No.
But yeah, I think it was probably the right thing to do. He got it sorted. Kalimuendo's got his goal. Yeah, take him off, move on.
Yeah, I hope so. Do you think Murillo will be fit? You're not a physio, Sam, but do you think Murillo will be fit if he's jogging off?
Yeah, I think that's a positive sign. Sign. If he kind of limped off, you'd be worried and stuff. But yeah, I think hopefully we'll see him the weekend.
What do you make of him as a left back?
Didn't mind it. He's that good, isn't he, that he can kind of play anywhere in the back four, really. Obviously, he's not a left back, but I think because he's so good on the ball and in possession, he can do a fine job there. It's a bit tougher in centre half because he's probably not got as much time, and the whole pitch isn't quite as in front of you and stuff like that. But yeah, I was impressed. I think wherever he plays, centre half, left back, even midfield, I trust him. I trust him in a game against these kind of opposition against Malmo tonight to do a job. Sorry, in midfield in the number 6, something like that. So yeah, I think he was fine tonight at left back.
Yeah, and it let Nico get a rest for us, which he desperately needs. I mean, in the Premier League, I'd worry about that back four, but it did the job tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, against again very poor opposition, but like Sam says, Murillo can play wherever he wants, can't he? You know, is it Greg that thinks he should be in midfield? And
so there's a few people who do. It's not for me, but yeah.
Yeah, he just has that ability, doesn't he? I mean, the way he took the goal at Anfield on Saturday, you know, just that first touch and then just passed it into the corner. He's just quality, and he's one of 3 players, and I class him, Anderson, and Gibbs White as they're not going to be around forever, are they? They're going to go for big money at some point relatively soon, and we've been saying it about Gibbs White and Murillo probably for 2 years now, haven't we? That we've only got 6 months left of them, and then somebody's going to snap them up. I'm just enjoying watching him play, and I hope that was nothing today. He was ready to carry on, wasn't he? When I think he was ready to carry on. They held the board up, and he ran off. So yeah, precautionary, fingers crossed, and he'll be back on Sunday. Although I have to say, I think Morato's stepping up at the moment again. Against very poor opposition tonight, but he's not done nothing. Made a mistake at Villa, didn't he, last year towards the end of last season? He was tying his lace, I think, and then they scored, and everybody was giving him some stick. But I think Morato's stepping up. We're all right. We're all right at the back. Get Olorena back, and everything's fine. But yeah, Murillo, what a player! What a pleasure to watch him play week in, week out.
Yeah, Morato is one of the players that's consistently had a decent season, to be fair to him. I think whenever he's played this season, I think he's done well. The thing about Murillo is he does this thing where he looks like he's dead, and then he's like, no, I'm going to play on. And then he hobbles around, and then you think, oh, come on, we've got to make a decision here. That's one of the issues. I'm going to go back to that midfield thing, Sam, because you're a midfielder. Is it a bit insulting to think, oh, this guy can just play in midfield because he's that good? Or to me, he's just a centre half because he's so good there. But I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, of course, I think his best position is centre half. I do genuinely believe, though, if it comes to it and you need to rotate the midfield, luckily we didn't need to tonight. You know, you got Yates and Sangare, particularly Yates, that needed the minutes. Murillo could do a job there in the number 6 role, because they couldn't really get out of the half in the first half. So out of their half. So I think he could have dictated play quite easily as well. He's that good on the ball with his long distribution, even his breaking of the lines. But no, I think obviously predominantly you want him at centre half where he's best.
A couple of other individuals to touch on. Again, really good night for the academy. Zach Abbott Fothers. I mean, I thought he played really well. I know his crossing's a bit loose and he's still a work in progress, but he's a centre back playing right back. I thought he showed up really well tonight. What did you make of him?
Yeah, I like the look of Zach. I think is that only his second start, and his first one was in the FA Cup semi-final? Is it something ridiculous like that?
It's his 4th appearance, yeah. So I think you're probably
right. 4th
right.
appearance, but has he started 4?
No,
I think you're right. I think that's his second start potentially. Yeah,
I think that's his second start, and his first was at Wembley. I mean, you know, 2 massive games. You know, tonight had all the nostalgia around it, didn't it? And all the pressure of that, all the ex-players there and stuff. But no, he looks the part, doesn't he? And again, and this is going to be the difficulty. Again, what you need is to see more of him. And at the moment, he's not first choice. He's probably not even second choice, is he? Because Savona's doing really well at the moment. Olorena's going to be coming back when he comes back. But what you want is a squad where you can rely on these players to come in. And I wouldn't hesitate if Zach's in the starting lineup on Sunday, then everybody's comfortable with that, aren't they? And that's all you can ask from any of your players. And I think he's certainly in that role now, where if he's in that back 4, then you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I think looks the part is a good phrase, Sam, because when he played at Wembley, I thought he did really well, but I don't think our players wanted to give him the ball. They wanted to look after him a bit. He looked like a proper part of the team tonight. You must be thrilled for him. I assume he's your mate.
Yeah, we're close, Zach. Me and Zach, I'm buzzing for him. I thought, to be fair, there were a few crosses he put in that were really good crosses that on the other day players could have got on the end of. But you've got to remember, like you said, Matt, he's not even a right back. I've played with the lad for 3 or 4 years. I can't remember one time he played right back. So he's playing out of position. He did a good job at Man City. and he did a good job tonight. I thought he grew into the game and he looked really comfortable in possession, won the ball back quite a lot. And yeah, I think hopefully it's just a start. But as Father said, the difficulty is, other than these games, you can't really see him play much football. Whether a loan's best for him or whether they want to keep him around the first team to keep getting valuable experience, I'm not sure. But he's definitely one for the future. He represents England, as we know. So yeah, buzzing for Zach tonight, and I thought he handled himself really well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Do you know Jimmy Sinclair? Is he a different age group to you?
Yeah, I played with Jimmy a couple of years as well. I think Jimmy's very aggressive and front-footed, as you saw with the tackle he did on the lad's neck.
Yeah.
That sums Jimmy up. He's always kind of on the front foot. Funny story about Jimmy, actually. I think he joined from Notts County maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and Warren Joyce, under-21s manager, he was crazy, as you know. Matt's probably speaking to him. He's very passionate. He had us doing at one point during the season. It wasn't like it was pre-season. He had us doing a 400-meter relay race, and you with like you teams of 4, and you've got to win. And everyone's kind of got to get around as fast as they can. And Jimmy was the last person for a team, I think. And none of us ever seen him before. I think it was his first day at the club, genuinely. And I think his team might have been second last out of 7 or 8. And he just comes blitzing round, beats up with a fit group as well. Comes blitzing round, smashes us all. We're all thinking, who's this? And I remember Warren saying, that's Jimmy, the boy can run. And yeah, so to go, honestly, I was thinking about it when I was watching the game earlier on the sofa. So to fast forward 3 years now and to see him play for the first team is incredible. So fair play to him, buzzing for him as well. Hopefully it's the start of something for him as well.
No, he's done well. He obviously stood up nicely in pre-season. So yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to him. Let these chaps have a quick think about man of the match. We'll do that on either side of this quick word for Art of Football. They've got a Black Friday sale, going on for up to 50% off between now and Sunday. If you go on their website, the link will be in the description. I think there's 40 plus items on sale, from hoodies to t-shirts to prints to mugs to all kinds of merch. So check that out. As I say, Art of Football, one of the top football brands. So do support that. Do check it out. Link in the description, as I say. Right. Man of the match. Lots of contenders tonight, Fathers. Who would you go for?
I've got 2. We've talked about them, and that would be Ryan Yates and Ibrahim Sangare for me stood out tonight. And if you had to push me for one, then I'd give it to Sangare. Even though Yates got the goal and an assist, I thought he was really, really good tonight. And again, I can't comment on the opposition. I don't know how bad Malmo were. I've seen some comments saying that they're League One standard. It's difficult. It's difficult to know, isn't it? They're struggling in Europe. They're losing every week. Their season's finished as well, hasn't it? Bizarrely, because of presumably because it's cold in Sweden. So I thought Sangare was superb tonight. I was actually disappointed when he took him off, because I was enjoying watching him and I thought that he was controlling the game. But when Elliot Anderson's your replacement, then you're all right, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess you're looking after him to try and maximise him for Sunday. It's a shame. You want players to represent their countries, and he'll want to represent his country. It's just a shame he's going to AFCON from a Forest point of view, because he played well again tonight. Sam, was he your man of the match or someone else?
I thought he was up there. I'd probably say Yates. I thought from start to finish he was fantastic. Out of possession, as he always is, but I thought in possession he really stepped up tonight. As I said earlier, broke the lines really well. Played forward, ran forward. Brilliant goal he took as well. I thought Morato is also, as we said, definitely an outsider shout. I thought he was really aggressive. We know he's an aggressive defender and likes to be on the front foot and likes to be physical, but the amount of times he nicked the ball and went on a little run himself or played a good pass himself forwards, I thought he was really good tonight with Milenkovic. But yeah, I think if you're pushing me for an answer, I'd go Yates.
Yeah, they were my 2 main contenders. I mean, lots of players look bright. I mean, Zach Abbott was bright, Kalimuendo was bright, but in terms of being the best players on the pitch, those 2 were it. I'd just go for Sangare, because he ran the game. I think games like that really suit him though, because he's playing against lesser players. They didn't really press him, and he cashed in, and I thought he played really well. So yeah, I would go for Sangare, but lots of decent performances tonight, certainly. Just before we wrap things up then, I think that puts us 16th in the table on 8 points, 2 points behind Porto in 8th, Fathers. I think we've got 3 games to go now. How are you feeling about how this Europa Comp is shaping up for us?
I think it's looking good. It's such a shame that we wasted that. I said it earlier. It's such a shame we wasted those 9 games with Ange in charge, isn't it? Because If you think about it now, we've got a couple of. I'm just trying to think who we've got left to play. We've got a relatively
Utrecht, Braga, and
Braga away.
Ferencvaros.
Yeah, so three teams that you look at and you'd like to think we're gonna win the home game. And the way we're playing at the moment, why not? Couple of draws away from home, 5 points. What does that take us to? 13. Is that enough to make top 8?
I think last year you needed 14, so we probably need to finish fairly strongly.
So we could do with winning one of the away games then, which is you're probably looking at getting a point at Braga, win at Utrecht in a couple of weeks' time, and then beat Ferencvaros at home, and we've got a chance, haven't we?
I think so. I mean, how do you feel about our chances overall in this tournament, Sam?
I quite fancy us. Yeah, I think maybe some don't, but let us be a bit of an outsider. I think let's not underestimate how important these wins are. We worked so hard to get here last season. I know ideally we wanted Champions League. We were unlucky to miss out, but it's not an easy competition in the Europa League. People take it for granted. So these wins are good that we're getting. I think if you go to Utrecht and win, you put yourself in a great position suddenly with the last couple of games. I do fancy us to go through and see where that takes us. And I'm positive at the moment as a Forest fan. I think things are looking on the up again. We've wanted this. I think I've heard commentators say that's 1 loss in 7 for Sean Dyche now, so that's a really good start for him. And yeah, it's positive signs. I think obviously the next 2 games are Brighton and Wolves away, which I think are definitely winnable matches. So suddenly in a couple of weeks' time, you could be thinking, yeah, things are looking good again. So really positive, and I think Forest definitely have got a chance in the Europa League this season. Why not?
Just over 500 people with us, which is lovely after such a routine win. Appreciate that. If you hit like before you go, that'd be fantastic, and subscribe if you haven't already. Wrapping things up then, Fothers, any thoughts? There's thoughts on Brighton and Wolves as well, because they're quick turnaround. It's always a big game. It's a bit like cricket's big first hour, but a couple of big games coming up for us now.
Yeah, Brighton will be tough. They're doing well, aren't they, at the moment? That I think I've not looked at the top of the. I've been studying the bottom of the Premier League table this season. I was going to say they're in the top 6, but yeah, they're doing all right, aren't they? But I think the form that we're in, you've got to think that we're gonna beat Brighton. Wolves. I mean, everybody's beating Wolves at the moment, aren't they? So yes, they've got a new manager. For me, a bit of a strange appointment. I'm not quite sure whether they're planning for the Championship for next season. It feels like they are. So yeah, I'd like to think we'll beat Brighton, and then at least a point at Wolves, probably 3, and then like Sam says, all of a sudden 6 points onto where we are in the Premier League, and we're looking at mid-table, which is kind of where we all thought we'd be anyway. Around about now, isn't it? So yeah, there's not a lot wrong. Sean Dyche is picking his best 11 in the Premier League. He's making the changes that he feels he needs to protect them for the Premier League in the Europa League. So yeah, I think we're in a good position.
How many points would you be looking for that game? Those 2, Sam? 4, 6? 6 feels like a goal, but ambitious. What do you think?
I kind of look at it as a 3. I look at the Everton game after. I think if you can get 7 from those 3, that's really, really good. Everton away is never easy, but if you can get 7 points from those 3 games, I think Forest is suddenly in a really good position, and things are looking positive. So I'll be looking to beat Brighton, which I think Forest will hopefully do. I back us at home to Brighton. Wolves away, you never know what you're going to get at the moment. They could have a new manager bounce. I know things don't go well for them against Palace, but yeah, I think 7 points from those 3 would be definitely achievable for Forest. And then, as I said, suddenly things are good again. So yeah.
Yeah, things are good. Yeah,
things go ready, aren't they?
Yeah, they feel much better than after we were talking after Midtjylland and a few other games, certainly. Right, just wrapping things up then, do us a favour, hit like, hit subscribe, consider membership or Patreon. Great to have so many members chatting on Discord tonight. A lovely 5-star review on Apple or Spotify would be great. Fothers, you've not been on for ages. It's good to have you back. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm just in a much better. I don't think I've done a podcast since.
You've not done a Dyche one, have you? I don't think.
I don't think I did one when Ange was manager, did I? Yeah, I did, because we were talking about whether he should stay or not. I mean, that was just a disaster, wasn't it? No, it's great to be back. You know, Forest fans with a smile back on our faces again. yeah, we're going to be okay, aren't we? I think last time I was on, we were next to the bottom, and we were wondering where the next win. Ange said he was going to win something in his second season, didn't he? And that was the joke was that he might actually win a game. So yeah, thankfully he's gone, and Sean's putting round pegs in round holes, picking the best 11, and surprise, we're winning football matches.
My Wi-Fi dropped out there, and it came back just as you were finishing. So I assume you said something wise, and you timed it perfectly, which I'm grateful for. Always. Sam, last word to you. Anything you want to add before we go?
Yeah, just agree. Really pleased. Things are looking on the up again now. Things have calmed down a bit since, recently when we were on this podcast talking about how things weren't going well under Ange, or whether it was even before that. So yeah, really pleased. And yeah, it's a good time to be a Forest fan at the moment, and hopefully things can continue to go this way.
Hopefully so. We'll talk a bit more about this game, but we'll do a proper Brighton preview tomorrow at noon with Greg, Mikey and Franz Carr is going to join us, and then we'll have a Brighton opposition preview and a post-match show on Sunday, obviously, so do join us for that. Thanks for everyone's company. Like I say, do hit like, that'd be great. Thank you to Fothers. Thank you to Sam, and if we don't see you tomorrow, we shall see you soon.